See, Ezekiel 1 says this fire cloud's coming from out of the north. It's Russia. It's Putin. He's going to be commissioned by the United Nations to come into this nation to enforce international law, because the United Nations and those who are behind their global agenda, they have known for decades that this nation will never acknowledge that a higher authority rules over this nation. The United Nations is the global government, and they are trying to assert their power and control over all the nations of the world. They are not going to go away. They are demanding that every nation acknowledge that today there is a higher power. They've been working for decades to do what I heard Paul Warburg say. He was head of the Federal Reserve for a while. He said, you're going to have a global government. It is going to happen. It will happen one way or the other. One way is with consent. You agree to join them, go along with them, be subject to their international laws, war can be avoided. He said the other way it will happen is with conquest. They've known all along. All other nations will agree, but not the United States. We're not going to agree. We're going to have to be conquered. They've been working for decades, even generations, to stop this nation from being powerful. They were behind the free trade agreement. With the Federal Reserve's capability of printing $1 trillion a year at 3 cents expense to make $100 bills, there's a speech in the back of this booklet by Donald Trump. It's called Trump's Speech to the New World Order. It's on YouTube. And Trump's speech to the New World Order, he talks about those with their radical global agenda. There's no limit to their financial resources. They can make as much money as they want.
There is nothing the political establishment will not do, no lie that they won't tell, to hold their prestige and power at your expense. And that's what's been happening.
What they've done with all their abundance of finances is they've paid millions of dollars into political campaigns to get Congress people elected. And then they pay millions to have lobbyists go in and tell those congressmen what they will vote for. So they put together a piece of legislation called the Free Trade Agreement, which anybody with a half a nitwit brain would know is not good for our country. But how do they get that passed through our Congress? By sending lobbyists in to tell this congressman, this piece of legislation is coming across your desk. You're going to sign it. We brought you into this office, we can take you out. The reason they wanted to do the free trade agreement is I read an article about World War II. It said straight out, the United States was capable of prevailing over our enemies in the World War II conflict primarily because of our powerful industrial base. We were capable of making a lot of war equipment very quickly, and it's what enabled us to prevail against our enemies. In other words, your industrial base is an integral part of your military power. And so they've been working to reduce our military strength. That's why Obama laid off 80,000 of our top military brass. I found a picture of Obama posing with Kissinger when he was like early 20s, and Kissinger was like 45 or something. I go, what? Are you kidding me? They have been working with Obama for 30 years to groom him, to bring him up, to put money into to pay him to take up residency in Illinois, to put millions into his Senate campaign, to get him elected to go to Congress as a senator for one term, then have him run for president, so they could use him to destroy our country every which way he could. I would see the things he was doing and I would think, how can he be so stupid? And then I realized, they're not stupid. They're doing this stuff on purpose. They want to take this country down. They're planning to come into this country in a military action with United Nations so-called peacekeeping